Vous êtes sur Africa 24 et vous suivez une nouvelle édition de Décryptage. Charle Morito est le directeur affaires gouvernementales et politiques publiques Afrique sub-saharienne de Google. Il a été chargé de développer de nombreuses affaires stratégiques en Afrique et notamment en Afrique de l'Est. Aujourd'hui, nous allons nous entretenir avec lui sur les moyens de renforcer l'accès à Internet pour tous les pays africains ainsi que sur les procédures de mise en place par Google pour assurer le développement économique du continent. Monsieur Charle Morito, bienvenue sur Africa 24, la première chaîne panafricaine. En février 2022, Google, au service de l'Afrique, et Africa 24 étaient les deux sponsors de l'Africa Business Forum, événement organisé par la Commission économique des Nations Unies pour l'Afrique. Quelles étaient vos motivations pour sponsoriser cet événement et comment est-ce que votre expérience en médias peut permettre de promouvoir le développement du continent?
Google's mission is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful for everyone. And one of the key things that we did in the last 2 years is that we developed a framework called the Digital Sprinters Report. And in this framework, we saw that there's a couple of key areas that are going to help Africa and other emerging markets accelerate in terms of economic growth. And part of those, that framework is physical capital, which looks at investment in infrastructure. And when you look at the business Africa Union Business Forum, one of the key elements that was being discussed yesterday was around the physical infrastructure, especially when it comes to airlines, transportation, as well as tourism. So we thought that this is a fantastic opportunity, especially looking at how can technology be utilized to help accelerate the growth of the economic opportunity in Africa going forward. And that's why we partnered with UNECA as well as Africa 24 to sponsor the Africa Union Business Forum.
L'économie numérique africaine transforme le développement du continent tout en renforçant les opportunités économiques ainsi que la création des emplois et en apportant des solutions innovantes aux défis tels que l'accès aux soins de santé, à l'éducation et au financement. Malgré tous ces efforts, qu'est-ce que Google fait concrètement pour accroître l'accès au financement en Afrique?
When it comes to media and leveraging media, one of the key things that we need to do is disseminate the opportunity that lies when it comes to technology, and especially for African youth. So one of the key things that we do when we're looking at both myself in my particular role is working closely with governments as well as other public private sector organizations to look at the opportunities that Africans can leverage, whether it's developing the skill sets that they require to take advantage of the opportunity that lies when it comes to the digital ecosystem. And I believe that media plays a critical role because it leverages or it balances out and enables more people to reach those opportunities that they require to learn what they need to do and also know the opportunities that they can. And I'll give you a quick example. If you take YouTube, for instance, which is a great media platform, we're seeing a lot of Africans take advantage of the YouTube Creators Program to make money out of that by creating content and then leveraging YouTube's platform to reach advertisers all around the world who then help them to earn a living through the YouTube platform.
Il est envisagé que la zone de libre-échange continentale africaine va mener à une croissance significative sur tous les modes de transport, notamment le transport routier, maritime et aérien. Pensez-vous qu'il y ait des opportunités en ce qui concerne notamment la hausse de la demande des infrastructures et des services de transport, notamment sur le transport aérien, selon le point de vue de Google?
The opportunity that the African Continental Free Trade Agreement poses is really going to be a critical one, especially when you look at the Africa Union Business Forum, as we were discussing yesterday. One of the key areas is the free flow of data across the continent. And working closely with policymakers, both at the AFICTA Secretariat, as well as other ministries of ICTs across the continent and other departments of trade, what Google is doing is helping bring the best practices from other areas. For instance, the USMCA agreement, which has helped grow and spur growth of the economies between the US, Mexico, and Canada. And we anticipate that if you have the right policies across Africa, especially based on or anchored on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, we can see an increase in trade.
Les investisseurs de Google seront fondés sur des câbles sous-marins du projet Kiano qui permettra d'accroître la vitesse d'accès à Internet à moindre coût. Le câble en question partira du Portugal pour le Nigeria, la Namibie, l'Afrique du Sud et pour Sainte Helena. Ne pensez-vous pas que ce projet pourra peut-être endommager des installations locales? Est-ce que les services qu'offre Google seront toujours traduits à long terme?
When it comes to infrastructure, especially when it comes to infrastructure that enables people to move from one place to another, tourism is a critical component of how Africa can grow. We have some of the most beautiful places across the continent. One of the key things that we've seen using Google search is the intent of people who are looking to travel into Africa. And one of the key areas that we spoke about is that African countries need to leverage the opportunities and the signals that we're seeing online of people who are trying to come to Africa for tourism and really leverage on that to convert those people to actually come. Because we've seen a gap, and the gap is between the people searching to come to Africa and the people who actually come to Africa. So we need to bridge that because some of the challenges that we have is connectivity. For instance, if you look at someone who's trying to travel from Kenya to Gambia, it is impossible to get there directly. You actually sometimes have to go to Europe, go to Paris, and then come back down into Africa.
L'Afrique a vraiment du mal à construire un meilleur récit car il lui manque la vision éditoriale nécessaire de la part des puissants groupes des médias non africains. Quel type de partenaire Google et un groupe de médias comme Africa 24 peuvent mettre en place de votre point de vue pour faire la différence au niveau micro et macro?
Over the last 5 years, since 2017, we announced that our CEO in Nigeria announced that we're going to launch the Africa Launchpad program. What the Africa Launchpad program is, it's an accelerator program that runs over 3 months. And to date, we've graduated 6 classes, over 87 companies, African startups. And out of those, we've seen an increase in investment towards those startups tenfold. And something else that we've seen is an increase in the number of people that those startups have employed since they graduated from the Africa Launchpad Accelerator Program. So that is something that we've continued to do, and we'll continue working very closely with startups in the ecosystem, because what we do best as Google is help spur the ecosystem so that people can be able to leverage, create companies and scale those companies to deliver jobs and also attract investment to them.
Comment est-ce que Google permet de booster la créativité en Afrique?
Google creates platforms which people can publish and put content out there which can be able to drive better narratives around the countries, the opportunities that they have, whether it's Google search, which indexes the various content on the continent that's created, and also even YouTube. And so what we're going to continue doing is ensuring that these platforms work on Africa and for Africans, whether it's things such as the long form content on YouTube to YouTube Short. That content enables more people to understand and see the narrative of what Africa has to offer. And that's the best position that Google is in to be able to provide better narratives on Africa to the world.
Monsieur Charle Morito, nous vous remercions d'avoir partagé ce moment avec nous sur Africa 24.